Why is love so difficult? Your last relationship ended badly, but I know that it started well. It started with fun and adventure and good times and making out and going to the movies and doing all of the things that people do together when they meet up, when they first get together. And we all know what that's like. It's fun, it's great. And our intention is that it continues to be that way, and we continue to have fun and respectful and playful experiences with the person that we've started a relationship with. But then something changes. And often where the change begins is that first upset, that first argument where somebody takes the moral high ground and needs apology and needs somebody to feel bad for what they've done. And that first time somebody has to say, I'm really, really sorry, please can love come back again? And in that moment, often a precedent is set. Someone becomes in charge of upset. Someone becomes the person who's allowed to get upset. And the deterioration often follows from there. And this is how you felt, that the beginning of control and domination and needing to behave a certain way and having to stop being that particular part of yourself, or having to no longer spend time with those people or do that kind of behavior, or having to trim and cut and organize oneself to fit into the "this will make me happy" box, rather than all of you is welcome. I would like you to show up. It was the first time someone got upset with you and needed you to apologize. And they took that moral high ground and they became the person that had the monopoly on anger. And you then became somebody that had to keep that person happy. Possibly beginning to walk on eggshells, but definitely having to change who you are on some level, small or great, to fit this will keep the person I'm with happy. And the erosion and deterioration of connection begins at that point. Slowly but surely, you have to become somebody that keeps your partner happy. Because if you don't keep them happy, love and connection will disappear. And the threat of disconnection, the threat of an upset person, the threat of the entire evening being ruined, who hasn't been there, the threat of the entire weekend being ruined, because something wasn't quite right and we didn't do something quite right. And then arguments, trying to get a point across and knowing that your point is not getting across and it's only making things worse. Until you started saying mean things, started saying things that are not who you really are. And at some point you looked in the mirror and thought, this is not who I am. Like, who am I becoming and who have I become? And it got to a point where you couldn't handle it anymore and you couldn't stand it anymore. And you had to separate. No matter how unpleasant that process was, you had to do it. And on the other end of that, single, you're thinking, I can never do that again. I can never go through that again. So I would rather have a relationship with a cat than go through that again. This is common. This is a widely experienced phenomenon for many kind, benevolent, well-meaning people who go through the washing spin cycle of a slow deterioration of connection with someone that they originally cared about. So you've given up on love, but deep down, you'd really like to try love again, but you're scared and afraid of it going the same way as it did before, because you're not sure you can live through that. And you certainly don't ever want it to happen again. So it's a conundrum. It's a sticky place. You'd like love again, but you can't have it the same way. I'm here to tell you, the problem isn't you, and the answers are not in classic relationship training. It's not in communication skills and tips and tricks, although they help. It's not in listening skills and a listening course, although that really helps. It's not in understanding the difference between men and women, although that really helps. It's not even necessarily in understanding power dynamics, although that really helps. All of these things can help, but they will not produce the difference that you're looking for until and unless they address the underlying belief systems that you have for relationships and love itself.